Assalam Alaikom. Welcome all to Ruby Planet. Alright, so I personally want this message of this video to directly be delivered to you without any complexity, showing here and there, or blocking the steps to the path of God. So I'll just immediately start with the reasons of why God exists. But before I do that, kindly relax your shoulders, get comfy, and through opening your insight, reset your mindset and restart. Starting with number 1. God exists because this is the undeniable, inescapable, and absolute truth in this universe. It all starts and ends with the mind. It's all about the mind itself. Your mind is the key to the objective truth, and your consciousness is the real answer. Some people don't really value the existence of our mind, being conscious about life and everything around us, even about our intelligence, which we think that we're just born with it just like that, out of nowhere and for no reason, which does not really make any sense. To make this plain simple for you, here's how to break this down. Your ability to simply use your mind is the answer. You're not actually your mind for no reason at all. You're using it for good, to find your purpose in life. You avoid danger by using your mind. You feed yourself by also using your mind. Your mind leads the way for you to protect yourself from danger and hunger, and you trust the mind's process without any doubts. You believe that you're on the right way only when you use your mind for good. This is what is meant by working your mind, as all of this is done through working your mind, which is also known by thinking. Thinking is what we need to find the purpose of life. Thinking is very important because this is what makes you 100% sure that you're alive and not in some virtual game where nothing is actually real, including yourself along with your mind. So, if you think, then you're alive and you're sane. And if you say you don't think or that you're not really sure that you think or not, then simply you're wrong, because if you were not able to think, then you wouldn't really guess anything right. Even the thought of not being sure about anything, adopting everything, because you wouldn't have any proof that this idea has any value of being true or close to the truth. So you only have one choice, which is admitting the truth that your mind's fundamentals, which make you sane and nothing else, are objectively true. This also applies to the objective and subjective truth argument, which is really unnecessary and a waste of time. Unless having that discussion is done to sincerely find the truth, then that's a different case. In addition, how to end this argument before it even starts is by saying that trying to prove, by argumenting, that the truth is objectively subjective is objective itself, as well as it's a statement that is based on objective truth. Now, according to the mind's fundamentals, you are able to rest assured that God exists because the mind that you trusted its fundamentals when you were in danger, or to simply survive, like when you have to acknowledge that danger doesn't come out of nowhere and that there's a reason why you are put in such danger, is the same mind you use its fundamentals of cause and effects, which you admitted and used for surviving to find God. Because you just don't have any reason to believe that your mind is right for believing that lack of food is the cause of hunger. Therefore, everything has a reason. But when it comes to God, you're not sure if God exists, and that there is a possibility that nothing can turn into something. And the reason for that is because your mind tells you that nothing is for a reason. Doubting that something can come from nothing doesn't really add any value or evidence to prove this right, as the objective truth is that our mind's fundamentals related to everything in life is objectively true, and that assuming that the science will figure out how nothing makes something is meaningless, as science is the result of using our mind's fundamentals, which are already set up in our heads, which tells us everything we need to know about reality and real life. And this assumption is anything but related to the truth and meaningful to be an evidence that can later be a life discovery. Alright, I invite you to read Quran in a calm and peaceful environment, and I also highly recommend reading Dr. Sami Ameri's book, The Evidence of God's Existence in the Mind, Soul, and Science, as this book was God's gift for me after reading Quran to find the truth and to break the confusion and delusion of nothing is real mind game. Number 2. Submitting to the aftermaths of believing in God. Now that you're convinced that God exists, you wouldn't just want to admit and believe this fact and move on with your life without wanting to know why God has created you and put you on earth. There's no way that you'll be able to skip the question of why am I here? What's my purpose in life? No matter how busy your life is. Your inner self will automatically be filled with curiosity, and you will be hungry for more knowledge, and more self-consciousness. That said, you will need a map that directly leads you to the knowledge and that purpose. And this map is your healthy, submissive mind to the mere truth that is in your favor. Your mind has to be very clean and very clear about the purpose of that search, which means no one-sided opinions, no bigotry, and no hesitations. The truth and just the truth, and you ready for this journey. Now, just to clarify that complete submission to God does not really mean being a worthless slave like how it is with the inhuman slavery practices throughout the history, but that it means that you have completely trusted God. You have trusted His perfect knowledge, His wisdom, and that He knows better than you, and that everything in your life has a meaning. Not to mention that your desires are not really stronger than your submission and obeying to God, as you only submit and obey the one who loves you more than anyone else, the one who created the whole universe for you and showed you the way to the eternal happiness. In conclusion, the only way to find purpose of life after being 100% convinced that God exists is by submitting to the absolute truth that your mind receives, whether you like the contents of the truth or not. As you, I, and all of us are here to know the truth and to worship the one who loves us more than we love ourselves. Number 3. Islam. Many people wonder, how can we determine which religion is God's true religion? And the answer is this. You believe in God, submit to Him, accept His message despite of our imperfect comprehension on perfect life, and you're good to go. Another thing is that some people get the real message of Islam, which is about worshipping one God and only one God. And some get the wrong message of it, that Islam is all about violence and blood, and that unlike what it is known for, it is not very peaceful. Now, proving that this is false is a real piece of cake. Considering that a religion by the God of the universe can never have these meanings, especially when it's absolutely true that God is loving, peaceful, all-knowledgeable and wise, as well as it's clearly proved in His book Quran that such accusations are not real. There are many evidence clearly presenting that Islam is the only truth in this universe in a very easy and straightforward way. However, there is a very strong and straightforward evidence that Islam is God's message, which has a real purpose inside it. Inshallah, I am making a separate video about it, as the purpose for today is to gradually provide you with important messages that inshallah your mind gradually comprehends very well, and don't feel confused by all information which might be new to you. Alright, this is all for this video. If you found this video informative and are interested in part 2, kindly hit subscribe, like, share buttons, and drop us a comment below to share your response, thoughts, and ideas. On the description box below, you will find wonderful du'at and Islamic scholars who are way better than me in showing people the truth. Thank you for watching. Jazakumullahu khair. Astaghfirullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.